When I started my video production company a few years ago, I remember I had zero connections, zero clients, and zero ideas of where to even begin. But within just a few years, I have built a successful and thriving video production company in my community from the ground up. By following these 5 simple steps that I'm about to provide you in landing your first client from the ground up. Welcome to the channel, everybody. It's time to ignite your video business. I want to create more content like this because I feel like the video business portion of things aren't talked about a lot on YouTube. And as I reflect on my journey of being 6 years, about to be 6 years of owning and operating a video production company, I remember a time where I was first starting and it was very humbling. And you may be someone like me. I was in the transition of going from freelancer, so I was getting a lot of contract work for other companies and agencies, to where I am now. And that transition happened not because of me, but because one day all my contracts literally stopped. And I still had to support a family, had a baby on the way. I was recently engaged, and I had to make some big boy moves. And I want to share this advice to hopefully help you on your journey of landing your first paid client. First thing that comes to mind is to engage on social media. It is such a tool, and it was even a tool back in 2018 when I first started and trying to build relationships in my community. Following a lot of business owners and entrepreneurs in my community, engaging in their content, that was another thing too. Not just following them and DMing them like, hey, you want a video? Please don't do that. That is not the vibe. It's like going on a first date. You don't want to go in trying to hit a home run on your first date. Like, take things slow. You got to let things build. You got to build rapport and connection. So my advice would be to really want to connect with fellow entrepreneurs in your community, open up discussions, get cool with them, engage in their content, put a comment below, not just hearting things. I know that's easy to do, but I was trying to stick out as much as I could, and I did. It took a snowball effect, right? I'm still in good communications with a lot of the entrepreneurs I connected with 6 years ago, but I remember reaching out to even a boudoir artist, and I was just following her and messaging her, and we got into discussions about video content and things, and she inquired and everything. We ended up working together. The next tip, which is an absolute game changer, and I attest a lot of my success to this day because of it, is to plug into your local chamber of commerce, especially if you want to serve entrepreneurs, small businesses, nonprofits. You need a pulse, and the community chamber of commerce is exactly that, especially if they're an active chamber of commerce, which shout out to the Fredericksburg Regional Chamber of Commerce in my area because they do the damn thing. I remember, you got to understand, a chamber of commerce serves the business community, and they are a plug. I remember I would go to numerous ribbon cutting events, and I would invade them. No one knew me from a can of paint. I remember I would bring my camera and I would vlog slash do recaps of the event and make them, whoever was doing the ribbon cutting, the hero. I remember connecting with the Chamber of Commerce, and I wanted to become a member. And that was the first thing I did within the first month of me building a business, was plug into the Chamber of Commerce. That has led me to a lot of meaningful relationships. It has led to some of the biggest contracts and video projects I've had in my career because of introductions of what they made. We're talking the school systems, we're talking hospitals, we're talking some of the big nonprofits, like all of these things. And it all stemmed from a relationship in the Chamber of Commerce. It is what you make it. Be an active member, go to the events, show up, the networking things they have, show up, show face, and continue to plug in. You know, you want to maximize your membership. I remember I did a ribbon cutting event, and that built momentum into my company. The first year in business, celebrating my first year in business, all these were big things in building momentum, where I've become the go-to source, and you can too. And I would strongly advise you to plug into your local Chamber of Commerce. Kind of going into the next thing, I know the Chamber of Commerce, probably your local one, will have a lot of networking events, but go to in-person networking events. A lot of things open back up, and face-to-face and speaking in front of people, you need to do it. I was very shy at speaking in front of people and talking about my business, but in the first few months of me building my business from the ground up, I had to do it. I had to swallow the frog, as I would say. And I remember looking on Google, Meetup, all these different things on Facebook, looking for networking events. And I found many. I would fill my calendar up with many networking events around my region, and I would go to them. And a lady from where I used to network, she said, Jamie, you used to be so shy and scared. And now look at you, you blossomed. And I blossomed into a leader in my community. But it took those networking events to get out my shell, to get more comfortable with what I was providing, the services I was providing, and connect with other like-minded individuals and entrepreneurs. And it was a great start. And I still, on my journey, love to still network. I love networking. I love building meaningful connections and connecting dots and helping others on their journey, listening to others and being a master connector for them. I get a thrill out of that. I'm a big advocator of giver's gain. In fact, that mantra came from a networking group I was part of at one time for about 4 years, B&I networking. And I developed a lot of my communication skills, a lot of my leadership skills, and of course, the whole referrals, getting referrals, and building an ecosystem all stem from that. So plug into networking events and maximize it. One thing I would not recommend, though, going to networking events. I don't care how desperate you is for money. I was very desperate when I began. Like I needed some money, man. Do not be the person who gives a card to everybody and try to sell your services right then and there. Don't do that. You're going to come off like a sleazeball. You're going to be slimy, and you will be talked about, because to this day, we have jokes. Like me and my friends who are networking, we see someone do that, we're like, look at this sleazeball. We try to avoid him. All right. Don't be that person. Don't be that guy. Don't be that gal. Especially if you're in a community and building a community business in your local town. Don't do it. Word gets around fast. It's long-term game. Okay. You can't, you could plant something. You see the vision of the blossoms, but you can't reap the harvest right then and there. Always keep that in mind. And what I would do, strongly advise you to do, is to at least talk to 1 to 3 people that you really want to connect with further. Get to know them. Have a one-to-one. Listen to how you can help. Make a connection. If you go in with the intent of giving and trying to help, I guarantee you it's going to come back to you, because that's a natural law in this world. I am an advocate on getting paid money for what you do. We're creatives, right? We do creative things. We help others. In my case, I help others and businesses make more money, save them time, and clone their messages by showing and telling. You have a gift too. We want to get paid for our work. We want to get paid and compensated what we're worth and the value we provide. I don't want you to take this out of context and be like, oh, he says do free work. No, but sometimes you have to do a free work in order to get the most out of it. You got to pay to play. Reason I say that, let's say, for example, I didn't have no living examples of what I could do. I knew what I wanted to bring to the market. I had this vision of doing brand videos and video business cards, whatever I was naming at the time. And I still didn't have no proof. And I was trying to sell the proof. So it was very hard for me to describe all this, but yet I didn't have no results from it. So I remember trying to do a free video for chiropractors. I was going door to door, not door to door. I did a few times. I got rejected. Humble pie. I was getting on a phone call trying to reach out to tattooists and stuff. Nobody wanted a free video. That's how bad I sucked. All right. I had to reach out to a friend who recently, she launched at the time, a clothing company. And I asked, like, hey, can I do this video for you? She said yes, of course. And I created a brand story video for her. Followed up with her. She was already getting a lot more clients, more awareness, more followers. Everything was on the ups. She was happy. I was happy. And I was like, can you get a review for me? She did. And I had the results I wanted. So then I started marketing those results. Then I started to advertise the results of what I could do. And that started to build a buzz because I had the proof. So sometimes, again, a little free work won't hurt. Also, some of the free work I did earlier, I wanted to be perceived as a big dog. So I remember for some nonprofit organizations, I would do a pro bono incentive where I would be like, hey, this typically costs like $2,500, $3,500. I could serve as a sponsor. So my company and my brand at the time was being on the flyer or on the collateral and the marketing collateral next to the biggest companies in my region. And I was as a sponsor. So that was great. One, just recognition. Two, it was great for people to see my name in that light and the brand I was building. And the last tip, of course, this is probably the no-brainer, but it's asking for referrals and asking from friends or family first. This might be a time where you could communicate with your friends and family, be like, hey, I'm doing this new endeavor. I'm looking to serve entrepreneurs who want to grow their business with video or use advertising as means of communication to attract more clients, to showcase what they do, using social media content, however you pitch it, and letting the word be out. If they really love you, they want to help connect you and just get the word out for you. So that's the big thing. The biggest thing, especially when starting your business, your ideal clients, first of all, is not going to be from your friends most of the time. Most of your friends, they're not going to want to invest that type of money, or you might not be for them. But if they share your posts on Facebook or your social media or anything, consider that a win. And the more when you get your first clients and you book them and you get the results that you promise, then they're going to refer you. This is a big game changer for me of how I got some of my most awesome clients in the fields I always wanted by simply following up with someone I work with. Be like, hey, how was the results of the video? They're ecstatic. And then I would segue in and be like, I'm so happy for you. You know, honestly, do you have any other friends or people who would benefit from the service that I provided you? Because I'm on a mission to serve more and help others get the results I got you. Oh, yes, Jamie, I do actually. Let me connect you. Warm email introduction. They're raving, they're raving. You close them up. Boom. Those are the 5 tips I have for you. If you guys enjoyed this, hit the like button. If you want to see more content like this is kind of where I want to start shifting this channel to more content built onto the actual business side of things, the things that matter, the things that keep your business alive, keep your dream alive. Let me know in the comments what you want to hear. Ignite the world.